my relationship with George is very crucial to my career and my accomplishments so far. Now it's, me and Elijah are the 16th, right? So I knew if I had to get ready for this title match, I got to get back where we began.
That's exactly right.
I came to you 6 years ago, and you've been in my corner ever since, and I knew I had to come back and train with you of all people.
We've had 6 years of training together, and of course I got to know him and his mom a little bit a year before he actually signed up, so we're going on 7 years.
We're training harder than ever before. We're going back to basics. Tuesday after Tuesday, I'm here. I'm working with him one-on-one in group sessions, everything to make sure that I have this in the bag.
Darius, you hit the nail on the head. I never forget where you come from, and I know you won't do that. You learned with the basics. You started with the basics many years ago, and hard to believe it's been 6 years, but just a lot of hard work. You've also had the opportunity to travel the world some and learn different styles, and I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you, and you never forgot where you come from. Some of the simplest things that you started off learning are still, and I know coming up in this title match with Elijah, that's what I think you're going to have to rely on, is just some of those first few days of really learning just an old-fashioned bump, and sticking with it, because to me that's some of the hardest parts of training is in the very beginning. And I didn't run you off, so that's always a good thing. Yeah. The most important thing for Darius is just keep doing what you're doing. It is an amazing thing for someone to come to me, as long as I've been training, with really no knowledge, never having been in a ring, and always loving it, growing up, of course, and having their favorite wrestlers, but getting in and doing it sometimes is a completely different thing. And for this young man to come to me and just as an open sponge and absorbing everything that I was able to teach him, and really see it all come to life as he's been able to travel the world. Elijah's an unbelievable athlete. I mean, he's been all over the world too. He can work different styles. He can punch you toe to toe if he needs to. But I think what we're going to bet on is just where we've talked about not forgetting the basics. The basics still work. Some of the simplest moves that nobody does anymore. All it takes is 3 seconds. All it takes is 3 seconds, and then anyone can be the world champion. And I think that's what we have going into our corner for this title match, is just that early on foundation that was laid with my young man, and I think we're going to bring that belt home.
I know I'm already a champion. Going into matches big, I don't think I've had a match as big, but you wrestled Flair and almost was world champion. How do I get ready for responsibility?
Well, the one thing that I can tell you, the greatest advice is you haven't ever settled. And even though you're a champion, a world champion, you always want more. There's a lot of people that would be stuck. I mean, that's a great career to win one title. And as you said, I came very close several times to defeating Ric Flair for the NWA World title. Throughout that process, I may have lost, but I became one of Ric Flair's favorite opponents.
In terms of, like you said, never getting full, or wanting more, or working hard, or being the last person to leave, and being kind to others. The responsibility that I'm attempting to take on, being the top guy in the company, the world champion, I don't think I would be ready for it if I didn't have someone like you.
I appreciate that.
No, honestly.
Well, Darius, a lot of people don't understand. If you can't be a champion outside the ring, then chances are you're not going to be a very good champion inside the ring. So I think he's ready. And me and him's talked about this many times, is I know that you're a champion before you ever get a belt. And you can have 8 or 9 belts, but if you cannot be a champion outside of this ring, then chances are you're not going to be a very good champion, and just because you've got a belt. I like to say that the belt don't make the man makes the belt. And my good buddy here, Darius, that's the perfect example of that. You've got to remember that to me, instead of a belt, you represent professional wrestling. Something that you give your life to, and something that the ones that come before me, I felt like I owed it to them to act like I got a little bit of common sense.
Yes, sir.
And it really ain't hard.
Right.
I mean, it's just amazing.
And now I owe it to you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I really think going into this title match, he's got a very good chance. But I also know that he's not one that if something don't go his way, he does not win this title, that don't mean he's going to give up. That means he's going to show up the next day of training, roll his sleeves up, get back in here, and keep working towards that title. You said it so clearly, is you've been one of the few that have wanted to be the last one to leave training. You've had patience, which is very, you got to have it in this business.
Yes, sir.
And so I've always been impressed with that with you is you never dreaded me calling on you to do something. And a lot of guys in our business, they love it, they want to be part of it, but they want to do just enough to get by. But see, I've never done that, and you're not, and that's what I've instilled in you, and I know you're not like that. You really want, when the fans leave, if they remember anything, you want them to remember, your match.
Yes, sir.
And if you just keep that, especially going into this title match, I think you'll win. And what's impressive to me is some of the legends that I have looked up to have called on him to help with training seminars, and they know who he is, and that's like the ultimate compliment in professional wrestling. Appreciate that.
So we only have a few weeks going into the match. I know I'm ready to train harder than ever. To go to George and hear those words, that he believes that I can do this, made me believe.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good luck, man. I'll be behind you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.